Hello and welcome to the 5th episode in the Farleigh Park build series. As you've probably seen in the thumbnail and you can quite clearly see it on screen, today's episode is all about the Hyper Coaster. So I planned to have a Hyper in this park for a very long time. I think when I initially planned out the park and I placed what coasters I was going to have, I pretty much put a Hyper Coaster here straight away. And yeah, I finally started to actually build the thing. So not much has been done so far. I have the lift hill, which is looking pretty good. I'm quite actually happy with how well this has turned out. And I also got the first drop, which again I'm really happy with. It's about 3, almost 4G throughout most of the drop. But yes, I've custom supported the lift hill and the drop. It's based off Orion support if you want to see kind of where I got my references for this. In terms of the colours, you'll understand a bit more when I show you the name of it, but it's the same kind of like light orange and light blue that I used on the park gift shop. If you want to see more about this, check out the last episode. There'll be a link in the top right now. So yeah, let's go back to this. There's a few other bits we got here. We have the station. It's not finished at all. There's still loads of work I need to do on this. There's going to be like a outline going along here. I need to sort out the entrance here as well as the exit. But you can kind of get the general idea of what I'm going for with this station. Very nice, open. If you've seen kind of Victoria Station here in London, that's definitely acting as some inspiration for this. I've got the flowers, which I really like. I've got the road numbers kind of hanging down from chains. The only different one is 4 because I couldn't get a single straight one for that one. In other parts of the ride, we have the transfer track. And this also does have a cover. I might remove the last bit here and just have the cover do the transfer track itself. But yes, so this entire section of the track can basically move over and the park will be able to store 2 trains on this bit of the track. I had to put in a custom catwalk here because I didn't want the nets, but I needed the catwalk anyway. It should be doing 3 train operations. The reason I've made this long is so if there's any issues and they have to take 2 trains off, they can still run it with 1 train with no issues. But they'd probably run it with 3 most of the time, and they can all be stored inside. You can have 1 in the station, 1 out here, and then 1 on the transfer track. Now, Planet Coaster limitations, the 3rd train actually stops around here because I can't put a block section on a curve. Anyway, let's move to the entrance of the ride, and you can also see the name. It's the Farleigh Flyer. I thought it'd be a fun name for it, as well as the fact that because it's so big and the speed of stuff, you are basically flying around the park, because if I just zoom out a bit, the layout will kind of go round this way and out to there, so you're basically flying around the back of the park. But yeah, so you can see the build style kind of continues here. This is actually the first thing I did for the ride before I did the station, as I did this nice entrance. And of course you've got the ride name there, and the safety instructions, and there will be a queue time TV on this side. And of course I'll theme it all up once I decide what the facade of this is actually going to be. Queue line's going to take forever to get through if it's on a busy day, because yeah, this is a very long queue line, very cattle pen heavy, but I'm going to split it into 4 or 5 different rooms, so it's not the worst queue in the world. There is a small outside section here. You have this section under the station which will have some nice theming. Not quite sure what that's going to be yet. I know in the station I thought I might put some boxes and some crates and stuff, as if it's like a transport thing, because yeah, again, this is stylized after a train station. So that's pretty much it for the Hyper Coaster. Mostly because I need to work more on the layout, but you can kind of see some views here from the adventure area, what that looks like in the skyline. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Whilst we're around here, I can also show you a few updates here in the adventure area. I've started working on the theme of this section of Oasis, our Mara spinning coaster. This section around here is going to be quite difficult. I need to figure out how I can basically keep the facade up around here. I might try and transition it into these kind of trees here, kind of going along with some rocks, continuing a bit along the side of the building before transitioning into what's going to be a much more modern facade, which is what you're going to see when you're in this outside portion of the queue line. Before we move away, I should probably point out, yes, I've put in an exit section with a very similar build style. Oh, that would just fit very nicely, because this is of course the exit of the ride. We're going to have the ride photo booth right here, so I have to figure out how I'm going to do this this kind of final turn into the station, probably enclose it. I'm not quite sure exactly what it's going to look like just yet, but I'll figure it out. Now let's get on to some general updates around the park. And if you saw my live stream yesterday, if you're watching this the day I uploaded it, I did talk over a few of these. The first one is that I've removed the staff entrance path that went down the side here. I thought it would be more convenient if I made this the staff entrance, with the staff being able to just come out of this door and head out into the park. Whilst we're here by the entrance, I've changed up the security stuff. So the idea here being that instead of the tents here that you'd have to walk through, you can now just queue up for a different lane, and the idea is that they stop all admissions. Well, actually, no, I actually need to figure out how I'm doing the exits around here. I've also added some large gates here, so people in wheelchairs are able to access the park. I'm going to have a think about this. What I might do is remove the two middle ones and have this as like the exit, so you basically exit down the side. I believe Thought Park kind of does something like this in their admission stuff. You have the turnstiles on either side with the exit going straight down the middle. I'll figure something out. It might have the park exit like be on the side or something. I don't know. Don't know if it makes too much sense. I'll have to have a think about that one. But yeah, moving around the park, there's not too much going on. I have been working a bit on the adventure area, so you can see we've got this section here with a couple of jeeps, as well as this building which is now done. And I'm almost there now with this whole section. I just need to finish off this middle maintenance area. You like the gate in, put some trees down, and put the entrance on this side in. So there's a small section around there, and then the actual ride entrance. I need a name for this ride. If you've got an idea for a name for this ride, comment it down below. What else have we got to talk about around here? Not much really. I've just been kind of doing some small bits and bobs around here, like the additional supports on both of the lake seating, so one here and the one over there, just to make it look a bit more realistic. A few other bits. We've got ourselves a large new park sign. I honestly can't remember if this was in the last video or not, but if it wasn't, there you go. I've been working a bit on the road setup for this section, so you have your coaches and your staff kind of go down the left lane, and then cars going down the right lane. Then it kind of splits here into a nice large 4-lane road heading towards the car park. What else have we got? A few traffic signs around here for the different exits. Just made it a roundabout because we love roundabouts. And yeah, you've got like the traffic signs in there, how they're supposed to look, and then you have like park signs in the different styles. So this is like the admin building, and also it's going to be like a staff canteen area, although it's only going to be a facade, probably like 1 story tall. There won't be any interior there. Hotel's had a slight change. I've made it so instead of these kind of being around halfway through, so more like there, they're now actually, the path goes through the buildings, because I've realised with the steampunk area here, I'd rather use that to make a cool facade along the back of the steampunk area, and then it means I can kind of position the actual coaster way closer to the hotel than it was. But that is pretty much it for the updates. There's probably a few things I've forgotten, like some new trees around here or something. But yeah, it's not many big changes since the last video, but it's slowly but surely getting there. I've been quite busy with another project outside of this, which is finished now, so even though we have Planet Coaster 2 coming soon, I'm still going to be working on this park. What I was thinking is I may have it so down the road here, maybe like a 5-minute drive, you have the water park, which could be included if you stay at the hotel, for example, and that could be my Planet Coaster 2 series. So I still have to figure out exactly how I want to do this. I think just kind of having like fake signs saying 5-minute drive that way, you can go visit the water park. That'd be quite cool. Oh yes, just before we end off the video, this flat ride will be going in the steampunk area, but I thought it would be quite fun if I had kind of like placed it in the maintenance area for now, as if they were kind of getting it all ready to get placed into the park. Anyway, that's going to be it for this short update. Not much going on, as I said, but hopefully once all the hype around Planet Coaster 2 has died down a bit, I kind of get focused and start really working on these themed areas, whilst also playing the new game. Before we go, I'm going to ask for some name suggestions. I need a name for the dive coaster, as I said, names for both the flat rides, and just an area name in general. So if you've got any ideas for any of them, please leave a comment down below. I'll read through them. If there's any names I like, I will name the rides or the area after them. And if I do that, I will hide your YouTube name somewhere nearby. So for example, if you name the area, I might sneak in like a little Easter egg for your name somewhere in the area, or one of the rides might have a small little Easter egg in the queue line. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.